to A Rare Reality, a podcast powered by Jordan's Guardian Angels. I'm Christina Janes, Director of Outreach and Content Development for JGA, and we're joined today by our Executive Director, cbakhos, as well. And we just had a great event, Carol. It was so wonderful to see so many faces. We did a big Q&A ahead of our big family conference that's now just weeks away, which I can't believe it.
Crazy. Yeah, just a few weeks. It was really nice to see everyone and kind of talk about all the stuff, all the logistics, and hopefully all our families are prepared to attend.
Fingers crossed that everyone, is ready and set to go on this. It's going to be great. We wanted to make sure that everybody had an opportunity to hear the Q&A. Sometimes your questions will get answered in this. So take a listen and we'll have more information for you too after it's completed.
Welcome, everyone. What we're going to do is give a quick update on where we're at with the conference planning, and we'll talk from, the JGI perspective. Then Jessica, thank you for joining us again this morning to give an update on the assessments, what to expect, etc. We have Lexi that can speak to the SIP shops as well, and Christina will talk about the interviews and media releases and what to expect there. So just a reminder, this is being recorded, and we do have translation services available for anyone that needs it. You should have that information in the chat to launch it from your end. So first of all, hard to believe we're just a few weeks away from being at conference together. It's mind blown. We've been planning this for almost a year now, and just to think that it's the last stretch is very exciting. So we're excited to be seeing everyone. We have 110 families attending. That's 450 people. We have our entire research team, 100% participation, attending the conference. They'll be there to meet you, talk to you, answer your questions throughout Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We have a lot of work happening from Boston Children's to capture everyone's assessments, and we'll hear a little update about that. So in terms of, let's talk logistics real quick, and then we want to leave plenty of time for questions. I just want to touch on some of the questions that might already be on your mind. So first of all, let's talk about hotel. The hotels have been booked for everyone. We do have a handful of families that ended up in the next hotel over, which is like a few-minute walk, just because our numbers were much higher than we initially expected. So they've been informed and notified, and they're okay with that. But just in case, you hear it, then you know what's going on there. But anyone that is at the Marriott Copley should have received an email with the reservation information. You do not need that email to check in. You can just give them your name. All the reservations are under your name or the name of the person that registers for the conference. So you can fill up and just give them that information. They will ask you for a credit card on file, but this is not to pay for the room. All the rooms are paid for under the master account. But the credit card is if you were to order a room service or you want a late night movie or whatever that might be, that's what that card will be used for. If you do not purchase anything, nothing will be charged on your card. So just an FYI as you reach. If you do not have a credit card, they will ask for at least a debit card on file, and they'll charge you like a preset amount, and then you'll get that back after checkout. So reach out if that's your case, and I can give you the details on that. So for our families that are flying in, expect an email next week about some information about transportation if you need it, how to get from the airport to the hotel, what are your options. They're always, you don't have to follow any of these. You can do your own, but it's just if you need additional information on that, you could do that. Keep in mind that we will not be managing that part of things because we have families arriving anytime that week. So please be prepared to know how to get from the airport to the hotel. If you need anything, you can always reach out to any of us. If you are driving, we do have parking available at the hotel for the families that are driving, and use the valet parking. And then at checkout, uh, it'll be just put towards the account as well. It is not a cost that families will have to pay. For a couple of our families that are driving and staying at a nearby hotel, we will work with you directly on how to handle that. So look out for that. But again, as I stated, once you're at the hotel, just give them your name and then you'll be check-in. If you did not get the email confirmation, or you cannot find it, or you deleted it, you forgot when you're supposed to arrive, any of that information, just contact Larry and Christina, if you don't mind putting his email in the chat, and he can confirm, your arrival and departure date based on what you had provided. Couple other things to know, that the check-in for the assessments that you will be doing with Jessica and her team is different than the check-in with Jordan's Guardian Angels for the conference. So the check-in for the assessment happens the day your assessment is happening. So if you're scheduled for that Monday, when you arrive on Monday, you check in with Jessica's team and you go through what you need to do. However, the check-in for the conference itself with our JGA team is on Thursday. We have Thursday 1 to 4 block, and we'll have a registration table. You can stop by and get your baggie with your shirts, your agenda, everything you need for that week. You'll also check in with Corporate Kids, and that's the third party that is handling all the childcare during the conference. So when you arrive on Thursday at our check-in table, you can go talk to them, discuss all your needs for your kiddos, sign your consent with them, and also the media release, and Christina can talk about that in a little bit. Also on Thursday, you'll get a chance to visit the poster displays that our research team will have. And what that is just, large posters that they have prepared to share with you about the detail of what they're doing at each of the lab. Some of that information might be too scientific, but it's available. You can go talk to them, ask all your questions. They're happy to answer any of that. But we don't start officially with our conference until Friday morning, and that's at breakfast. All our meals we'll do together with our children. And then after meals, we drop them off for childcare. We do our sessions and we pick them up for lunch and then drop them off again, and then pick them up for dinner and drop them off again. So our kiddos will be eating meals with us, but in between, Corporate Kids has workshops and other activities happening for them. And then I want to ask everyone to really be respectful for the time, because we plan to, start our sessions very promptly. We do have time worked out in the agenda for kids drop off and pick up and such. So please keep an eye on these times and make sure you're back in the sessions when they start and such, so we can be prompt and give everyone plenty of time to talk and learn and network and anything else you need to do. Just note that we will not be doing dinner on Saturday night. So the conference will wrap up at 5:30 after the last panel. We wanted to give our families a chance to kind of break off if they want to go out for a bit and grab dinner, especially the families arriving a little later in the week, or if you simply need a break after a few days of being together nonstop. So there are lots of nearby restaurants and malls and food options available for you, so you could just grab a quick bite. And if you are participating in Dad's Night Out or the movie night, we will still have that a little later. So you'll have a gap of about 2.5 hours to go rest, grab a bite, do whatever you need to do, and then come back for that. So both Moms and Dad's Night Out will happen at a restaurant called the Yard House, and it's at the first floor of the hotel, so we don't have to venture out. So if your kids or your partner or whoever needs you, you'll be nearby, and you don't have to be worried about that. Unless you want to hide, that's a different story. For the movies, the first night, we're gonna be playing Wish, the movie Wish, and the second night we're going to be playing the movie Migration. Both great movies. I'm a big fan. Can't wait to see them again. So we will have snacks available for the kids during movie night, just some pretzels and chips and such, so they can enjoy themselves. If you have any concerns there, please be aware of that. But make sure they bring like their water or whatnot, just so they have a drink if that's needed. Just expect an email next week with a lot of this information. I just wanted to give you a quick rundown of what is happening. Let's go to Christina. If you can, please go over the media release and the interviews and what to expect there. And then we continue our round.
Yes. Hi, everybody. So glad to see all your faces, and I cannot wait to see you in a couple weeks. I can't believe it's already here. We're really looking forward to it, but it's going to be a great few days. When you do check in, as Carol mentioned there at the registration table, we will have a media release for all of you to sign. So that will entail if outside media comes in, wants to do a quick story on the fact that we're all gathered together, they may come in and do some short filming. Also, my team, both of our photographers will be there taking interviews. And so we need to make sure that you're all A-okay with that as well. So we'll be signing releases for that. And sometimes from the video, we take stills, which would be, sorry, it's asking me to save my language. So one moment. We'll take some stills out of the video as well. So it'll be asking for photos, video, and media. So you can sign away just to make sure that we can use that. Also, simultaneously on that media release, Simon Searchlight is going to be shooting their own videos, 2 separate videos that they're doing outside of the JGA realm, talking about what we're doing and the importance of gathering research and why this is so incredibly important for the world at large. So they're part of that release. So you'll be signing that when you get there, just to say A-okay. Everybody has already said that they were good with it, but we need to make sure we get it on paper. So that will be there. Also, all day Thursday from 8 to noon, and then from 1 to 5, we'll be conducting interviews with families from any and all of you. We'll be sending out a sign up next week. We're going to be doing 45-minute increments, which will give us some time to not only talk to you, but then also shoot some video of you and your family together. So I'm hoping that many of you will sign up and chat with us. The questions are very easy, just something along the lines of, what does JGA mean to you? How important is this for not only your family, but the world? What your hope for the future is, those kinds of ideas. So nothing too hard hitting or scary, just a quick conversation. And then we'll be putting together videos, much like what we've done before in the end for the conference to recap, so we can show the world what we're doing. So if there's any questions, let me know, but be on the lookout next week for the interview signups as well. There's 10 slots. So we're hoping to get 10 families to sign up to be able to be a part of that. And we would love to see you and have you there, especially those of you who are new. We'd love to have you. So new faces, it would be great.
Thank you, Christina. And Lexi, can you touch base on the SIP shops, please?
Yes, so hi everyone, I'm Lexi Levine. I'm the sibling support coordinator. And like we did at the last conference, we're going to be offering 2 SIP shops. There's going to be one session for siblings age 8 to 12, and then another workshop offered for 13 plus. And basically, these are like workshops that are designed for people who have a sibling with a disability or chronic illness. And for the younger kids, it's a lot of play-based ways to get talking about, everything that encompasses being a sib to someone who needs a little bit more attention. So talking about the good parts and the bad parts and everything in between. And then the older kids, it's more of a discussion based, because they are able to do that a little bit more. And last time we saw a really great turnout. I think my favorite part was seeing some of the older kids like really bond. I saw like a few of them skipping through the hotel lobby like after the session. So it's a really great opportunity to meet other siblings who are in similar situations. So you can reach out to me if you have any questions, but you don't need to. There was no other sign up. So as long as you listed your siblings, the siblings in the sign up for the conference, then they're already counted in and they just have to decide to come. So I'm looking forward to it.
Perfect. And both the workshops for the ages 8 to 12 and 13 plus are happening on Saturday. and all that information will be available in the agenda when you receive it. Thank you, Lexi. Jessica, why don't we do an update on the assessments, what to expect, and then we open it up for questions.
Sounds great. So again, I think I've now communicated with most of you. It's nice to see some faces and names. My name is Jessica Waxer. I'm a genetic counselor on Dr. Wendy Chung's team, and I'm kind of the point person for all of your in-person research assessments. All of these research assessments will be taking place at the hotel. I know that was one question I've received and haven't had a chance to respond to yet, but they'll all be taking place at the hotel. We're trying to make this as easy as possible. I'm trying to work with all of the family's preferences, children's schedules, travel schedules, etc., to make this as easy and as successful as possible for everybody. I just want to pause and do sort of an overview again of how we get to the research assessment, because I think that that's a sticking point for some people. So the first step is enrolling in Simon Searchlight. That's our online data collection piece. And then what we're doing at the conference is the in-person assessment. And so again, this is kind of a deeper dive. Just bear with me while I pick my language. So taking a deeper dive for those in-person assessments. And in order to do the in-person assessments, we need you to sign up for Dr. Chung's Boston Children's Hospital study. So it's another enrollment process, another study sign up. So it's different than the JGA registration. It's different than Simon Searchlight registration. And it's sort of this third piece that we need you to do. And the only thing that's duplicative or should be duplicative is basic contact information. We need to know who you are. We need to be able to align all these wonderful registrations. And then we need that genetic test report. What we found from previous conferences is that even though you verified your genetic testing report with Simon Searchlight, we would find holes. So someone maybe said, oh, I'll sign up for Simon Searchlight later, and we never had that genetic testing confirmation. And from a scientific standpoint, that's just so critical for us to be able to publish this data and have it usable for other scientists, researchers, physicians, medical professionals. So I know it's a pain to have to go find that genetic testing report. If you have any trouble, don't hesitate to reach out to our team. It'll either be me or some of Dr. Chung's other teams. We're happy to help kind of work with you, talk through that genetic report piece. And again, I know that that's been a sticking point. But so again, first step, enrolling in Dr. Chung's study. And then there's a second little form that actually helps me tailor those research assessments. So many of you on this call I know have been wonderful. You've done step 1, step 2. You've signed up for Dr. Chung's study, and you provided me that additional information that helps me tailor your intake form. Unless you did it in the last couple of days, I have sent any intake form that I've sent has been assigned a schedule, and that should be emailed out to everybody. There might be I know there's a few people who I've gotten information on recently. I know there's a few schedules that I've sent out that we need to tweak, kind of go back and forth on. So just bear with me as I keep responding to everybody. But the goal is to, again, get sort of a trio of assessments, if you will. So your child may or yourself may or may not be eligible for every assessment. Our neuropsychologic assessments in particular, we need to be done in the individual's primary language. And so right now, many of these tests have been validated in English. So we're focusing on those people who speak English as their primary language. We're looking at options. Can we kind of expand that out for other people who may speak other languages? So you may or may not be eligible for neuropsych. But motor assessment, neuropsychologic assessment, and a research EEG. And then we do a brief medical check-in. So you kind of have, each schedule is going to have a combination of those different assessments. And there'll be somebody kind of helping walk you from point A to point B. So everything's based on the 3rd floor of the hotel. And there'll be a check-in desk there, and we can get you to where you need to go. So your job is just really to show up on the 3rd floor at the check-in desk, and we'll make sure we get you where you need to go. There will be additional reminders coming out beyond what I've sent for the schedule. So first step, enroll in Dr. Chung's study. Second step, get me that additional information so I can find out, is an EEG even going to be possible for your family member? We'll get you that tailored schedule. We can go back and forth a little bit about that to get everybody in. And then the more details will be coming as we get a little bit closer. But Again, your job is just on your first day, on the day with your first scheduled time, just get to the 3rd floor of the hotel and we'll get you where you need to go.
Thank you, Jessica. Is there any update for our 2R1A and 2R5C community that will be attending?
Yeah, so right now we're still focusing on the PPP2R5D just because that's the majority. So we're going to get all of those in to get those scheduled. And then once we've kind of worked on getting everybody through the pipeline, we still have some people who haven't done that part 1, part 2. We're still working through that pipeline. Then we'll be opening it up to the other communities. I know that everybody wants that option. We'll have to kind of see timing wise, accessibility wise, but don't hesitate to stop by the 3rd floor. If you haven't heard or bug me, reach out to me. Happy to answer any of those questions. But right now, still focusing on PPP 2R5D.
Thank you. And we will also have Simon Searchlight present Monday through Thursday during conference, and they will be collecting blood samples from all the families that have not given samples in the past, and that's across all our communities. So regardless of your gene, whether it's 2R5B, 2R1A, or 2R5C, you can stop by and donate your blood sample for the research. So we have access to that. And I want to encourage our families that have not done that at previous conferences to do so. So we have the samples from as many of our families and children as possible. And also they'll be there supporting you with your online profile. So if you have questionnaires that are not done, you're stuck, you're locked out because of a language difference or whatever your questions might be, they're going to be there all week supporting you with that. So and everything is happening on the 3rd floor. So once you find that 3rd floor of the hotel, you'll be able to access everything. And that's actually where the JGA registration will be on Thursday as well. So most of our events will happen either on the 3rd floor or the 4th floor of the hotel. So everything is close together. You don't have to travel a lot. One last thing from logistics perspective, before we open it up to questions, many of you might already be on the group chat through Facebook for the conference, and I'm sure you're getting the hundreds of messages that we're all seeing. But I do want to encourage you, if you're not on it yet, please get on it by before you head to Boston and the conference, because we will use that for like announcements, anything different, anything new that you need to know while you're at a conference. So we will add the link to that in the email that's going to be sent out next week. But make sure you find that community chat so you stay in the loop of what's happening there. Okay. Anything else from Jessica, Christina, or Lexi before we open it up to questions? Okay. Any question?
Hi everyone.
Hi,
Itai,
go ahead.
Israel. I'll be flying with Yotam. It's PPP2R1A. Two things. One, just to make sure if we're PPP2R1A, we shouldn't expect at the moment the assessment email, right? Okay, cool. The other thing is, what's the MO when it comes to Hebrew speaking kid in the kids area? Because he's completely insufficient in English. I could probably say an airplane and a bus, but I doubt if this will take him somewhere. So what's the MO there? So because I'm flying alone, so.
Yeah. We did communicate our languages to corporate kids who's managing the childcare. They confirmed that they're gonna have caregivers in Spanish and in French so far, but they are working on the rest of the languages, which would include German, Italian, and Hebrew, which is our 5 most spoken languages. I do not have a confirmation for all the languages as yet, but they are on it, and Boston is a very diverse city, so they're hoping they'll find the right caregivers to support with the languages. But also keep in mind, most of them have experience with children with any communication differences, and some are even nonverbal. So hopefully they'll find a way to still be able to reach our children and communicate with them regardless of that barrier. Yeah, it was communicated, they're doing their best, but I don't have a confirmation for Hebrew as yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not very worried when it comes to dinosaurs and airplanes. I'm sure he will find a way to communicate. Just if something happens, so I guess we'll find a way on our end. But assuming he will struggle, will he be able to join me in the actual conference? So he won't have to stay there by himself?
Yes, absolutely. So the way we're gonna do this is we're gonna have like seating available on the side and on the back of the room for any parents that, if our kiddo runs in or they need to address anything, so they can still be part of the group without missing the presentation. So we're gonna have, room in the back of our conference space for these kind of situations. We don't want anyone to kind of stress out. The childcare is available so parents can check out and like focus and do all that. But if any of our kiddos need to be with you, that's totally fine. And we trust our families to kind of help, keep the distraction to a minimum so everyone can still access the information. But we want this to work for our families the way that each of our family needs it to work. I know last time my non-PPP child was 3 and he wanted nothing to do with childcare, and he was sitting in the room the whole time. And so, it happens, and whatever families need to do, they get to do basically.
Cool. Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, Nihal, go ahead. Yeah, take your time.
I don't know if we can unmute you or not. Let's see.
Cannot hear you, but if you want to throw the question in the chat, that also works.
You do have
I'll
one.
take that question. Yeah, go ahead, Christina.
There's one in the meantime in the chat that says, do you have any suggestions of things to bring to the conference for the parents and the kids? I see there are suggestions for what to bring to the assessments.
Yeah, so I can chime in on the assessment piece. So what I would recommend for the assessment is bringing what works for your family member, your child, that what works for a doctor's visit, what works for a therapy session. We want to capture them at their best. And so if it's a favorite toy, a treat, I know a couple families that I've worked with, they've brought a favorite gummy snack so that after doing a walk test, it kind of helps motivate the child. So anything that works for your child, we recognize we get that one moment with an individual, and we just want to do everything to make sure we get them at their best. We're recognizing that we're getting that one moment. So we just encourage you to bring it's okay to bring a toy if that's their favorite stuffy, or a snack that's really going to help make them motivated. A video, if they have our EEG team does use videos to kind of help with the assessment itself, getting the net on the heads. But if you have something that will work better for your child, we just encourage you to bring that. Sometimes people kind of forget about that. There's a lot of movement with a motor test. So just making sure that someone's in comfortable clothes, and if they can't walk without braces on, making sure that you have those braces, that type of thing.
Yeah, and for the other parts of the conference, so for childcare specifically, so if your kiddo is in diapers or on special food, or uses formula or is breastfed or anything like that, especially for our younger children, please make sure you bring that, and then you can provide it to your care team and they'll store it and they'll follow your lead. If they need any naps, anything like that, you let them know, and they'll honor that as well. They are able to change diapers up to 4 years of age. So beyond that, if there's any diapering necessary or any toileting necessary, you will be contacted to come and support your child with that, just as a heads up. The hotel frowns upon us bringing a lot of like outside food and drinks and such to the conference. So unless it's necessary, please limit doing that. But if there's only one kind of snack that your child might have, or they're on a specialized diet or anything like that, make sure you have what they need. But we're working with them very, very closely to make sure, you know, at least our main meals have a variety of choices and options for our kiddos to have.
And I think also we've seen in the past wipes, things that we just forget that we, you know, sometimes don't have enough of. Wipes, thumbs up too. Wipes, diapers, all those things. I'm just echoing that because we have had families who've gotten to conference before and said, I don't have enough, or I don't have this or that. So make sure that you know, stock up on the things that we don't always think about that are necessities.
Yeah, and one really good thing here that we didn't have access to at our previous conference is there's like a big grocery store literally across the street, like less than a minute walk. You can cross, get what you need, and come back. So don't stress out if you forget anything. Don't stress out to bring everything from Germany with you or whatever you're coming from. You can go across the street and buy the food, the diapers, the wipes, whatever else you might need.
Oh,
MK, you had a question?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's good that you have shopped over there in the US. So no.
Yeah.
I got a question for Jessica. Do we need to bring any kind of reports from the doctors with us?
No, so you don't need to. These are all they're very similar to clinical visits, but they're not they're slightly different focus. And so you don't need to track what the only thing we really need is that confirmation of that genetic test report, which you'll upload when you enroll in Dr. Chung's study. So nothing that we need specifically. Anything else that you provide is all provided through Simon Searchlight. And then it's direct assessments. So don't worry about lugging any records with you.
Okay. And
Ju-
do you have interest in EEGs that we did in the past? I got one on a CD. I can bring it up to you. I'm not sure if it makes sense because it's a different EEG system, maybe from the doctor, from our doctor.
Yeah, so the EEG that we're doing is slightly different than a clinical EEG. We're looking at it in a very specific way. So it's nothing that our team is directly looking at. But I think that we can certainly talk. I know for many conditions, reviewing clinical EEGs can be very helpful from a scientific standpoint. If you're here, you want to share that with the research team, but we don't have any formal system in place for that right now.
Yeah, okay.
In the past, Jessica, and I know you were with us last conference, we had Seattle children collect some MRIs and EEGs on CDs. So I will follow up with them, see if that's one way for our families to provide that information, especially for MRIs, because they're a little harder to provide. But I can loop back with Jessica on that, and then we can communicate to families the best way to do that if it's possible.
And we're all for making it easier so that we don't want you to have to share the same CD, the same MRI, the same EEG with multiple people. So our team is not collecting it, is what it sounds like, but we'll certainly follow up on that.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Carol, you have a
So
question in there too.
yes, go ahead, Christina. Yep.
How many kiddos and families will be attending?
So we have 110 families attending, and we have 15 different regions. And what we're talking about is like, you know, our German community, our Italian, French, Spanish, and then different regions within the US. So we have a lot of representation that will be attending. So total amount of kiddos, including siblings, is 180. We have 180 children that will be present. Actually, no, we have 200 children that will be present. 180 is over the age of 2, but we have 200 children that will be present. So get ready for for a lot of kids in the same room for the whole week.
Hi, sorry, I got my microphone
You're
working.
back. Yeah.
My son was just diagnosed a month ago, and so I was wondering if we can attend the conference. I signed up at Simon Searchlight and I submitted all the information, but I just wondered if it's too late or if we would be able to attend.
Where are you located now?
New York, so very easy for us to just drive up. We can stay wherever. We're very easy. We don't have to like stay at the conference hotel, but yeah, if there's any way we can attend, we would love to.
Yeah, I mean, the official registration is closed. I mean, we're over capacity, we're overflowing in all ways. We will be recording the conference and providing that after. But for any of our families, and we had a couple questions on that are like brand new. If you still want to attend, let's talk. I don't think we'll be able to support with like the travel or the hotel or assessment or anything. But if families want to just show up for some of the presentations, we might be able to accommodate that. So why don't you send me an email separately, Nihal, and that is also the case for some of the other families that have reached out and asked. So we really are at capacity, but if we have families that just want to show up for some of the presentations and like figure out the rest of their travel and such, we're open to making that a possibility.
Okay, and how do I get your email
Yep.
address?
So I'm gonna put it in the chat right now.
Okay, thank you.
Carol, Luca says he's not coming anymore. There's 200 children.
Oh, Luca, you're our child care person. You cannot bail on us.
I am more the first kid of the conference, the first child.
I know, but yeah, we have a lot of children for sure, but it'll be great. We're very excited. Any other questions? Yeah, I mean, we're past a lot of the initial logistical humps here between travel and hotels, and the assessments schedules are starting to roll out. Just make sure you're reading your emails, make sure you're staying up to date. If you have any questions, just reach out for anything hotel related. You can reach out to Larry, anything assessments related. You can reach out to Jessica, and anything else, just shoot me an email and I can direct you as needed. Yeah, we'll give one more minute for any other burning questions, and then we can wrap up. Check my notes, make sure we covered everything.
Can I say one thing, Carol?
Yeah, go ahead, Luca.
That I have been in New York for the last conference, and I was a little bit not scared, but I didn't know what to expect. But then you guys at JGA made everything seem so natural. So I know it's a huge organization for you, but everything went perfectly. So if someone is at his or her first conference, don't be scared, because everything will flow more natural than it seems before. So you guys are really great.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Luca. We really are trying very, very hard to make it as seamless and as easy for our families as possible. So once you arrive, you don't have to leave the hotel unless you want to. We're there to support you. Everything is thought of, right? So so hopefully, you know, we didn't forget anything, and everyone will have a smooth transition through their time here. All right, very nice. So just to kind of reiterate what Luca was saying. Our families have always had an amazing experience, even if they were anxious about traveling with their kids or what that would look like or whatnot. But once they make that first step, it's always been a positive experience for our family. So we're really excited that you're taking that chance and joining us. I promise it's going to be an amazing time all around. And Boston is an amazing city. The location is just so central. You're going to have access to so many things just right there without having to put a lot of efforts. Our team is here for you. We do have a website for the event with all the information. I want to make sure you all have access to that. So make sure you visit that for agenda, for frequently asked questions, for logistics, for anything else that you need. Read your emails, please, 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 read your emails, make sure you get all the communication that gets sent out, whether that's from Georgian's Guardian Angels or from Jessica directly. So please stay on top of that. So the more and faster responses you provide us and feedback, the easier it'll get for you to get everything in place as well. Any questions, anything, do reach out. All our information are on the website as well, on the Facebook group, whatever you need, we're available. And use each other. I mean, especially our families that have attended these conferences before, they'll be a great resource to support you with what to expect. Let's see, Jessica, anything else from your end?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I know this has been a lot of work for you and the team, late nights and long hours. So I really appreciate you even joining in on a Saturday here, and appreciate your dedication to make this work for our families as well. Christina, anything from you?
Nope, I think we're good. I can't wait to see all of you.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you all. And this will be posted. So share it with anyone that wasn't able to make it. If you think of any other questions, just reach out.
All right. Well, we hope that helped everybody, answered some of your burning questions ahead of conference. Of course, Carol, this team is here for everybody in the days and weeks leading up to this as well.
Right. So if anyone has any more questions, they can reach out directly to us. They can reach me at cbakhos@jordansguardianangels.org, or they can contact Jessica directly at Boston Children's for anything that has to do with assessment. And again, we said that on the Q&A, but please do read your emails and make sure you're up to date with any information that's going to come out between now and conference.
Yeah, and keep an eye out. Next week, we're going to be sending out a big email, lots of good information ahead of conference, things that you need to know. So please be checking your emails, not only from JGA, but from Simon's and from Jessica. Really important to be able to make sure you answer any of the questions that are coming at you, so that we're prepared and that you're prepared, so that we're ready to go when we're all together. I'm going to leave your email, Carol, and Jessica's too, in the notes here on the podcast. So if anybody needs to get in touch with anyone, and of course, you can find any of us anytime, anywhere.
Yeah.
All right, a few weeks away. Looking forward to it.
Can't wait to see everyone.
It's going to be great. All right. And if you want to hear the rest of our podcast, you can find us on Apple, Google, Spotify, on our website, jordansguardianangels.org, and of course, always on YouTube as well for translation services. So check us out, take a listen. There's more conference information there too, if you haven't had a chance to hear it yet. So Carol, looking forward to seeing you soon, and looking forward to seeing the rest of you too. So we'll see you soon.